Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a brand new series on the channel where we get CHAT GPT to design us cars and then we take it out in BeamNG, test them out through a number of challenges and see if CHAT GPT can design a functional, good or potentially terrible vehicle. So today's prompt is the early 2000s Japanese vehicle. I haven't given it any clue on what sort of Japanese vehicle. All I've said is Japanese vehicle. So the chassis here may change depending on what performance we have, but as you can see on the screen now, this is what it has given us, and we're going to be reading through it and doing these changes. So the first thing it said is it's going to be a coupe. So we've gone kind of coupe here, and it is going to be called the Kenshi Raiden GTS. The colour is meant to be midnight purple, but we have a partial aluminum frame with a monocoque chassis type, light steel there. It's a front longitudinal engine with a double wishbone and a multi-link on the rear suspension. It also says up the quality to 3, so there we go. Here we go, we can actually choose our coupe here. So I like the look of that one. Yep, that looks pretty good. Do we have anything with a longer... Can we change... we can change the rear. Aha, perfect. Okay, lovely. Now paint. We'll do the paint quickly. So all body panels here. They wanted a midnight pearl, which is a deep metallic blue with a purple undertone. So we are sort of looking at this colour. But hang on, we can edit the paint here. Sorry, we can go to the advanced mode and we can actually do this. So we can up the pearl and we can also make it a bit more purple. I think that could be pretty good. Up the pearl strength. Oh, I see. Okay, hang on. Ooh, I think that's it. I think that is it. That has blue and with a bit of purple. So yes, we would like that colour. Now the roof, for whatever reason, didn't want to change. So there we go. And the rest of this looks lovely. Okay, so we're going to skip over the fixtures for now. We'll go straight into the engine and drive type here. So let us find what ChatGPT wants that to be. So Japanese rear-wheel drive, which would make sense, right? And let's get into the engine. Now the engine doesn't have a name, so we're just going to call it the Raiden, and this will be the GTS model, which would make sense, right? And this is also going to be a relatively new engine, so we'll just say a old engine, sorry. This is going to be like a fun budget, I'm going to assume. So let's get started. So it is a inline six, and it is a aluminum light, so we're going to have a high revving vehicle, which would be quite nice. Although it hits 3 litres, quite a big engine, 86 by 86. So there we go. Basically, it's 3 litres, and we have a direct overhead cam. Sorry, dual overhead cam. My bad. And we have 4 valves per cylinder here, and they're going to be made out of aluminum. So aluminum standard, and it wants 2+ on the quality there. So the crank is going to be made of forged steel light, low friction cast, which is that one there. And we are going to have a harmonic dancer, and it's going to be set to 40. So a little bit less heavy. And bottom end quality +1. Okay. Compression 1051, quite high compression. Relatively, and cam profile of 60, so we are going to have a sports car. Let's see here. Springs and lifters 70, it's quite high, with a RPM limit of 6,700, so not as high as I thought it might. Oh, sorry, I'm actually completely wrong there. No, it is 8,500 RPM is what it wants. And it's the variable lift that it has, which is set at 6,500. There we go. Top end quality +2. Does it want VVT? All cams. So we've got a VVT and variable valve lift as well. This thing's going to make a lot of power, right? Let's see. So we are not running a turbocharger, so manual. Manual. Naturally aspirated, so you don't have to do anything with that. We do, however, have a injected multi-point per cylinder intake manifold. Oh, hang on. So our timing is -2. Fuel map is 60. There we go. Fuel system +1. Okay, fuel type. So this is obviously going to be a petrol vehicle. The intake manifold is going to be... Where is it? Where is it? On this good old list right here. It's going to be performance mid. Okay. There we go. Manifold size is 55. Okay, and there we go. Yep, cool. Exhaust. So we have tubular mid here, size 50, dual exhaust. We can't actually have a dual. That's fine. It doesn't necessarily make so much difference. Quite a big exhaust, 76.2. It is going to have a 3-way, and then it is going to have a reverse flow, and then a straight through. So we are making 252 horsepower, and it is on 313 Newton meters of torque, so it's quite torquey. And the only real issue we've got here is that it's running rich, right? So that's just not bad at all, realistically. So let's start the engine here. We may actually have to really quickly, if we are able to, just up the sound settings here, because I believe I turned it quite far down. There we go. So let's do a pull. Oh, she quiet. Think that could be broken. Here we go. Let's have a look at this. Oh look, we can up the. Look at that. Interesting. I didn't know we could do that. Technical difficulties. Yeah, I mean everything. Let's just do that. See if it makes a difference. Nope. There we go. There we go. So that is the pull. So engine aesthetics. I don't think there's going to be many things we can change here, right? Let's see. No, I feel like it's not a classic. I feel like it's not. That. Is that the, yeah, that's very jab. Having these little sorry, excuse me. Having these plugs here. Yes, I like that. I like that a lot. Okay, so 252 horsepower, 313 Newton meters of torque. Quite decent actually. Like that's a lot of horsepower. That's nothing to be shy of at all. So this is the vehicle we're gonna have to work with here. We've got our paint sorted, so it's just sort of designing it. So what we're gonna do is we're also gonna ask Chat GPT to visualize this vehicle it's made, and we're gonna try and make it as close to as possible. But also my designing skills aren't particularly great, so don't expect too much from me. So that said and done, please enjoy the music, cue the montage, speed up the clips, and I will talk to you guys when we're done designing. Okay, and here is the finished product. Chat GPT kind of made it look a bit like a Honda slash Subaru hybrid, so it's kind of what we've got here. Actually struggled quite a lot to make this look decent, and as you can probably see, and you would have noticed during the montage, that we actually did have to change the body type to kind of fit for what ChatGPT had in mind. I also noticed that that isn't correct, so let me fix this. Let me just mirror this. Okay, there we go. There we go. Alright, anyway, back to what we were doing. Now we're moving on to the gearbox. So this does have a manual 6 speed with a helical LSD. There we go, okay. With +3 on the drivetrain quality. This has radial, sports profile, 235, 235, and 235 all round. Okay. Okay. Interesting. They want 18 trims with a profile of 40, which that basically is. It's actually a bit less. There we go. And the rim material is going to be made out of alloy with a +2 to the quality. Brakes, please have good brakes. So we've got vented discs on either side. This is a 4-piston and this one is a 2-piston. This is 330 on the front. And the rear is 300. Oh, yeah, that's not what I meant to do. And the rear is 300. So we've got nice, good brakes. And then we actually do have 65 on the front here. And we have 35 on the rear. The pad type is going to be a 65. So definitely into the race era. With a brake quality of +1. Aerodynamics, we just have a flow optimized 80 and 40, so cooling airflow is 80, brake airflow 40, and a +1 to the quality. So we have two front seats, 2 in the rear. We have a sport type entertainment CD with a standard CD. Optimized weight is irrelevant, and +1 to the quality. Steering is a hydraulic rack and pinion with traction control and ABS, 2 to the quality of that. We have 2000s standard and a +1 to that. Weight distribution 40, so a bit heavier in the rear. It's gonna slide out, I think personally, but we'll see. We have progressive, gas monotube, passive, semi-active, sorry, and we go with the sport tune. Suspension quality is +2. There's a lot of things, and this is the vehicle that we have. Can we get a poster going? There we go. See if we'd like to load. And last one. There you go. And I do have a confession to make. We had to reduce the engine size. However, I made up for it in terms of power. It shouldn't change anything necessarily. It will weigh a little bit less on the front, but we had to make it a 2.3 litre instead of the 3 litre inline 6, simply because it wouldn't fit in this car, and I had not checked that before doing all the fixtures, and I didn't want to redo them. So other than that, everything is exactly the same. And to get the power figure, all I did was just up the quality on the block. I think by like 5 and 6, so it's not going to make much difference. 6.26 seconds, got a rear-wheel drive, 6-speed manual, 34.9 miles per gallon apparently. It's weighing 1.5 tons, so quite light. Probably affected by the 0.7 litre difference in what it should have been, but maybe not. Raiden GTS, 246.6 horsepower. I know that is slightly lower figures. I couldn't get it any higher without changing a lot of things, so we're just gonna have to live with the 5 less horsepower, and although it is like 80 less torque, the weight might make up for it. That's what I'm hoping. So we're gonna export that just because I like exporting them. And this is the Kenshi Raiden GTS, built in 2003 during what many petrol heads call the golden age of Japanese performance, A time when Nissan gave us the Skyline R34, when Toyota Supra ruled the quarter mile, and when Mazda was building rotary powered Batmobiles. And Kenshi gave us this. It's a coupe, it's rear wheel drive, it's got a straight 6 that revs to the heavens and makes 250 horsepower, which, on paper, sounds like a recipe for excitement. But you put your foot down and instead of excitement, what you get is contemplation. 0 to 60 takes nearly 7 seconds, which isn't bad for a diesel SUV, but this was meant to be a sports car, because unlike most Japanese coupes of its time, this one isn't fast. It's not sharp, but it makes a noise that'll make your spine tingle, even if it takes all day to get there and half of the time to stop. So what is good about the Raiden GTS? Well, it tries. It tries to be fast, it tries to handle, it tries to look the part, but it's like watching your dad at a nightclub. The effort's there, the commitment is admirable, but the end result is deeply uncomfortable. It wants to be an R34, it wants to be an RX-7, but it ends up being the car you borrow while your real car is in the shop. So yes, it tries, and for some people that's enough. Just not for people who've ever driven anything better.